81, and I have an unfortunate announcement to make. I feel like I've been doing this too long, you know? And I feel like I actually have been going through some like personal stuff, you know? It's like it's I don't know. I've been trying like my best to like hide that, but I don't know. Sometimes it's just been getting to be too much, you know? Like, I have been actually uh, putting out less episodes recently, but, you know, I have an unfortunate announcement. I feel like, yeah, it's gonna pain me to say this, but I think I'm going to have to indefinitely suspend this Let's Play, you know? I'm sorry, I don't want to do it, but it just, yeah, I'm just going through too much stuff, you know? I just have these outbursts when I just can't control, like, the things I do sometimes. It can be too much, you know? I hope during the time of this indefinite suspension that I'm gonna, you know, seek counseling on, like, how to better myself and, like, how to freaking do this Let's Play better. I would like to say that I'm gonna improve, but I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of the outside noise, you know, and it's like everyone is just like, "What's wrong with him, man? What's wrong with Andrew the Alarm? Like, something is wrong with him. Something is going on in his life," and it's like, yeah. I mean, so I mean, you know, a little bit, just the same amount of dead is going on in everyone else's life. So, yeah, that's basically the announcement. I'm going to have to indefinitely suspend this Let's Play series. But that's gonna be far into the future, not until freaking, like, I don't know, years from now at least, hopefully, right? I want to get to part 100. Psych! Look, man, if you know me, you know what that's a reference to, okay? I actually do hope Draymond Green gets some help, man. As frickin' Nurkic said, after frickin' Draymond frickin' did a spinning back fist on him, basically, after another suspension, following another suspension where he frickin' choked Rudy Gobert, right? It's like, I hope the brother gets some help, man. Oh, man, dude. Yeah, basically. Yeah, people know what that's a reference to, right? It's like, look, so many things have happened, man. I don't know, man. So many things have happened. Like, I can't really figure out a way to talk about all of the stuff I want to talk about, you know? I have, like, stuff here, you know? I don't have notes, obviously. I never have notes, but, like, in the lead up to this episode, I felt like I had, like, a lot of ways I could have friggin' started it. Obviously, like, jokey ways, you know? But, like, one of the ways, like, I thought of starting it was just reading this apology letter I have here from no author in particular. And it's like, look, obviously the things I talk about, I feel like my identify the series. The things I feel like identify this Let's Play series, for me specifically, are talking about the NBA and talking about book drama. And it's like, yeah, on both fronts there's so much stuff that happened, you know, and it's like, I don't know, you'd think I would be more excited, but like, yeah, in terms of the book drama part, I feel like it's just been so freaking much, man. Yeah, the Kate Corain stuff, it's like, come on, man, what can I possibly add to it, man? What can I possibly add? There's just nothing more I can add to it. That's basically the thing. Yeah, it's weird because, yeah, I don't know. Why did it take me this long to, like, make an episode? I don't know. Well, yeah, one of it was, it was the end of my semester at school, so it was like, I did have to do, you know, some stuff. That was somewhat the reason, but that's, yeah, mostly not the reason. It was, I don't know. It was just, like, yeah, not finding the time, basically. How it usually is. So, like, in regards to this stuff, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I just don't like it when most of what I do is, like, explaining a situation, man. I don't know. Yeah, like, look, it's a situation. It was a thing that happened, you know? if you want more information, I guess I can link it. I have so much stuff here, man. I have so much stuff that I just like bookmarked because like a week ago when I wanted to record this episode, I just had so much stuff bookmarked. I thought it would get into all of it and just read all of it, but it's like, oh man. Okay, I guess. Can I cliff notes it? Yeah, if people want to know. There was this author called Kate Corain. She had this debut book in 2024 called Crown of Starlight. It's an adult science fiction book that's basically a Greek mythology retelling, but like set in space. It's like a space opera Greek mythology retelling. All right? Okay, following me so far? Okay. Oh, man. So, she's gonna debut. She was going to debut in 2024. There you go. There's that distinction. She was going to debut in 2024, but a set of circumstances happened in the past like couple weeks. The time frame is like early December, so like December like 5th, 6th, 7th, like all the way until now. And now, as I'm recording this, it's December 15th. Like technically it's December 16th, but yeah. So like, like basically just like a couple weeks ago. That's how late I am on this, right? There's this author, yeah, Kate Corain, her book, Crown of Starlight, it was going to debut in 2024. And then there was one post by this author, the author of Iron Widow, called Zirin J. Zhao. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. I'm sorry about that. But she put out like a tweet basically being like, if you are like if you are like leaving like Goodreads reviews, yeah, something like that. I don't know. I think I could pull up the tweet. It was basically calling out the behavior that is at the core of this, which is Kate. It seems to be confirmed, but Kate, she, you know, it, like in her, yeah, because like I guess going out of order here, in her apology letter, she specifically stated, let me pull it up here. She specifically stated this: in late November, no, since June 2022, I've been fighting a losing battle against depression, alcoholism, and substance abuse, the full scope of which I've hidden from everyone in my life out of shame and a misguided belief that with the right medicine or enough therapy, I could beat it. In late November of 2023, I started a new medication, and on December 2nd of 2023, I suffered a complete psychological breakdown. During this time, I created roughly 6 profiles on Goodreads, and, along with 2 profiles I made during a similar but shorter breakdown in 2022, I boosted the rating of my book, bombed the ratings of several fellow debut authors, and what she conveniently leaves out is that her debut authors were, yeah, her fellow debut authors who were going to debut in 2024. And funny thing about that, they all happen to be, you know, of a certain, you know, group. They all happen to be, you know, BIPOC. They all happen to be people of color, authors of color, women authors of color, you know, included in that. Queer women authors of color also, you know. She conveniently leaves that out. There you go. And left reviews that range from kind of mean to downright abusive. I don't know about the reviews. That's a thing. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing I could get to. I guess this is going to be a little bit out of order. It's going to be like in pieces, you know, it's going to be in pieces. I don't want to just front load this, okay? 2 of those authors, Molly X. Chang and Danielle Jensen, are fellow Del Rey authors, Camilla Cole and Bethany Baptiste. And, okay, footnote on this. Bethany Baptiste is basically like well, she's basically probably one of the biggest victims out of this situation. And I don't know if I'll get into it in this part, but she put out a 62 tweet thread of friggin' evidence and basically receipts of just detailing her experience with this incident, right? So basically, the most important names are Kate, obviously, because in her letter she basically admitted that she created these accounts, right, and did the review bombing on Goodreads, which is like the core of what happened, right? So there's that. Kate was, yeah, it was her, and then Bethany Baptiste. And then, the next most prominent name chronologically was Zirin making a tweet, basically like calling out the behavior but not naming her, right? And then the next most important person, probably the second most important person of the incident was Bethany Baptiste, who's a fellow author who is debuting in 2024. Her book is called The Poisons We Drink. It's very like she's very unapologetic about being black and being like Southern and being like, being like, like having that as part of her like whole thing of like her book, basically. So those are like basically like the three core people at this. Let me continue reading it because I haven't really read it fully. Oh man, let me see. I felt no ill will towards any of them. It was just my fear about how my book would be received running out of control. My memories of this are extremely fuzzy, so it's possible there are a couple other authors. If so, please know I take full ownership of what I did to you as well. Alright, I'm sorrier than you'll ever know. There's nothing I can say to erase what I did to you. Well, I mean, what can she say, basically, right? Like, what can she say? I'm reading this now. This is basically me reading this for the first time, just so you know. When I was slapped on the wrist by Goodreads and vague tweeted by a handful of people. I mean, I vague tweet about the NBA all the time, so I mean, just saying. I want to get back to the NBA, to be honest. I don't know. I panicked that my secret was about to get out, and rather than taking responsibility for my actions, I tried to cover my tracks. Okay, another footnote here. One of the ways she tried to cover her tracks was... it's gonna be too much. It's freaking too much, man. Yeah, one of the ways she tried to cover her tracks was by creating a fake person that she had a Discord conversation with. So basically, she somehow somehow doctored Discord messages that she sent to this person called Lily. And like she said, her name is Lemonado or something or whatever. So basically, like she basically doctored Instagram, or no, in the Discord transcripts. She basically doctored conversations that she had with Lily. And like I'll probably read those specifically later, but it's just like, oh my god, dude. So that was one of the ways she freaking tried to cover her tracks. Okay, continuing on. Still in the middle of this breakdown. Make Up the Breakdown, that Hot Heat album, for their first album, pretty good. I made up the world's sloppiest chat with a non-existent friend who was supposedly to blame. At least she's calling it sloppy, man. I made up the world's sloppiest chat. I made up the world's sloppiest chat, you think? You think you did? With a non-existent friend. Okay, so, yeah, she basically admits it, yeah. Who is supposedly to blame and sent fake apologies for the actions of said friend, which only made things worse. She is blaming all of this on, depression and anxiety and her medication, basically, right? Like, she's basically blaming all of this under the big guise, like, basically, of mental illness. And it's like, yeah, a lot of people are calling that out, man. I don't know. I think, you just, probably. I probably would just echo their sentiments. Okay. For the actions of said friend, which only made things worse, I betrayed the confidence of my agent, who dropped her, by the way. Basically, another footnote, her agent dropped her. Her agent is pretty prominent on Twitter, My pub team, my readers, and my friends, and betrayed my own deeply held values. I guess she did. I don't know. I wonder what her deeply held values are. Just like, I don't know. Not being horrible. I also dragged one of my dearest friends and fellow debut authors into the mud with me when she came to my defense. I'll leave her name out of this so as not to pull her in even deeper. I think she's talking about this author called Meredith Mooring. I think she's talking about her. But yeah, not confirmed though. However, if she wishes to come forwards, I'll apologize to her publicly as well. Let me be extremely clear. While I might not have been sober of sound or of sound mind during this time, I accept responsibility for the pain and suffering I caused, and my delay in posting is due to spending the last few days offline while going through withdrawal as I suppose sobered up enough to be brutally honest between you and myself. Okay. I know some of you won't forgive me, and I recognize that you're not required to. No one ever wants to be judged by their worst actions, but that's not always up to us. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, another footnote, this has become, like, such a big thing, man. Like, why am I even freaking talking about this? But, it's a thing to fill an episode, okay? I'll be reaching out to everyone directly impacted. I wonder if she actually did do this. Though that may take time since I'm checking into an intensive psychiatric care and rehab facility. Dude, she had to go to Imagine going to rehab for this, man. Imagine. Which means I'll be mostly off social media, as I need to give 100% of the program, 100% to the program if I wanted to stick. All I can do going forward is to try to live my life in a way that shows you these aren't empty words. I mean, like, that's the thing, too. It's like, I don't know, man. If she does plan on, like, coming back to social media, it's like, she doesn't have a book deal. Her reputation is basically just lowered and into mud. It's like, what good can possibly come out of her being on social media, Oh, man. I don't know. Yeah, okay, there you go. Yours with much love or something. There you go. That was basically a huge chunk of it. That was basically the scenario. Basically, Kate Crane, she made fake accounts, review bombed other debut authors in her friggin' debut year of 2024, and then much of them were like authors of color. Like all of them were authors of color. A lot of them also too were Greek mythology retellings, so it was very targeted. And then she boosted the rating of her own freaking book with fake accounts, and then people found out about it. Jiren Zhao was the one to like initially blow the whistle. Bethany Baptiste like got involved with it, and then there also was like freaking a point where a few people tried to turn whatever was happening back onto Bethany Baptiste because she used the term an albino snake, right? And then it's like that got misconstrued and twisted into like an accusation from some people towards her of ableism, and it's like, yeah, it's just such a thing. Have I explained it enough? Okay, anyways, how do I feel about Draymond Green's suspension? I can't really say it wasn't deserved. I mean, it's like, it is, pretty much, yeah. How long do I feel like Draymond Green is gonna be out? Okay, alright, yeah. Probably like until like 2024, yeah. It's probably gonna be like at least like 10 games, but I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be longer than that. It probably isn't, right? Yeah, but like I wonder like what, yeah, because they say specifically that Draymond is gonna get like like counseling. What if they're in the same rehab facility? What if they're in the same what if they undergo the same counseling? Oh man, imagine that. It's like it's like an athlete who is prone to like freaking extremely stupid and reckless violent outbursts in the same like therapy freaking facility is an otter who basically blames her freaking mental health on in doing a racist freaking targeted takedown of fellow freaking debut authors. It's like, I don't know, man. What an interesting scenario that would be if they ended up in the same facility. Yeah, two very different things, but still. Look, man, I gotta connect it somehow. Oh, man. So, yeah, like, Draymond, just, like, is there anything more, like, to say about Draymond? It's like, yeah, it basically, yeah, like, a lot of people have been talking about, like, how, like, cool, yeah, people have been knowing that, like, Draymond has been, like, reckless and, like, done these, like, stupid freaking things for a while now, right? Like, he's been doing it for over a decade, but it's like, the thing that's been shielding him is that the Warriors, are a dynasty and they've won championships, you know, over these 8 years, right? And like, yeah, now that they're seemingly on the tail end of the dynasty, they're basically like on the way out, you know, as like the Nuggets and the Thunder and the Timberwolves most recently are like, you know, decidedly better than them. The Lakers are definitively, not definitively, but the Lakers seem now decidedly better than them. It's like, it basically is seeming like it's the end of the Warriors freaking run, right? They're definitely not going to win the championship this year. Definitely not going to win the West this year. Maybe there's a slight chance they make it out of the West, but they're not winning the championship. Yeah, that's guaranteed. But it's like, yeah, I think like a lot of people are kind of reflecting on like, why the hell have the Warriors like been so lenient with Draymond, right? Like Draymond punched Jordan Poole. He punched his own teammate. And then the Warriors were just like, just like be away from the team for like a day or two, you know? They didn't want to suspend him because that would happen like close to the beginning of the season, right? Last year. And like it would have meant that he would have missed ring night, you know, because that was the season after they won the championship against the Celtics. It's like, yeah, I feel like, you know, like the way they've treated him, they basically coddled him, you know, like it's like his behavior has always been given a pass, right? And now people are just like, maybe his behavior shouldn't have ever been given a pass, right? It's like, him punching Jordan Poole, him stomping on Domantas Sabonis, him choking Rudy Gobert, him frickin' spinning around and frickin' like hitting Yusuf Nurkic in the face. It's like, my God, dude. At some point, it's like, yeah, he has career highlights of just like him just doing nothing related to basketball. There's like the famous one of like him playing the Pistons. Like he just like got up. He was like on the ground and then he got up and then just like ran full speed and body slammed the guy. It's like, come on, man. It's like, it should have been it should have been a while ago that Draymond got suspended a significant amount of time, right? It's like, I don't know. I guess it's a good thing that more like harsh action is being taken now, but it's like, yeah, it really should have we really should have been looking at that behavior, you know. NBA people probably should have been looking at that behavior when it was first starting, yeah, in 2016 with like him kicking Steven Adams and him kicking LeBron like in the groin, right? They probably should have been like looking at that and been like, yeah, this is kind of bad. You know, it just became a repeated pattern, you know, like especially like last year, just like the friggin' frequency. Yeah, well, this calendar year, the frequency with which friggin' he does like these friggin' things, man, it's just like, my God, dude. Yeah. I hope Draymond friggin', I mean, is he gonna friggin' like change his ways? Who knows, man? Who knows? But I guess, yeah, we'll just have to find out, man. It's not really gonna change like the Warriors' outlook, to be honest. Like him being there versus him not being there. I mean, the Warriors are already sub 500. They're already like the 11th seed in the West last time I checked, right? They're already like, you know, in pretty dire straits, you know. It sucks for Chris Paul, man. I really would like to see Chris Paul win a championship, you know. I guess, yeah. Yeah. Let me see if I can remember enough to give like a picture of what the standings are like in the NBA right now. I could just look on Bleacher Report, you know. I have that app, you know. I have it right now. Okay, let me see. Oh, man. I basically know most of the standings, but like, yeah, this will be a nice refresher. Okay. Yeah. The first seed in the Eastern Conference, yeah, the Celtics are the first seed, Bucks are the second seed, Sixers are third, Magic are fourth, Knicks are fifth, Pacers sixth, Heat are seventh, and then the Nets are eighth. Yeah, and like, who cares about the play-in? Well, if you're the only 1 through 6 is guaranteed playoffs. And then in the Western Conference, number 1 is still the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're really good, like really good defense, an elite defense so far. Number 2 is the Denver Nuggets. They had like a little bit of a slump. Jokic had like 2 games back to back where he had like terrible efficiency. So I don't know about that winning 3 MVPs out of 4 years case, but you know, There have been people, yeah, I guess Embiid is destined to repeat, you know? Like, 2 MVPs in a championship seem to be the friggin' time, right? Like, 2 MVPs and then the next year is a championship, so, I don't know. The third seed's the Thunder, 4 the Mavs, 5th are the Kings, 6th are the Rockets, and most recently, Dylan Brooks scored 26 points. They played the Grizzlies, who are currently the 14th seed behind the Spurs. Oh yeah, update on the bottom teams. Pistons have lost 22 straight games, and the Spurs, up until tonight, lost 18 straight games, but tonight, most recently, they broke their streak against none other than the Lakers. So, yeah. 7th are the Clippers, and the Clippers are currently on a 6-game winning streak. So, yeah, maybe, you know, Harden being the system, I don't know. Maybe he friggin' meant something by that. Maybe. That Mavs reporter being just like that frickin', like, the friggin' Mavs reporter rant on James Harden. I just love how that video starts. I don't know if I'll find it, but the video starts with just, like, him being like, let me say something about James Harden, and then it just has like a hip-hop beat to it. It's like, dun, dun. It's like, I hope and pray every day that I have someone that believes in me as much as Daryl Morey believed in you, James Harden. It's like, you're not the system, you are the problem. But currently, he's not the problem. Currently, he's helping the Clippers win, you know, after a rough start. So, yeah. Okay, the 8th seed are the Lakers. They lost to the Spurs, yeah. And then the Pelicans, yeah, Zion, friggin' still questions about his weight and his conditioning. It's like, come on, man. Do we need this? Oh, yeah, and below them are the Suns, who, their big tree of Beal, Booker, and KD have yet to play a significant amounts of time together in this recent game against the Knicks as of tonight. Last night, they lost to the Knicks. Jalen Brunson had 50 points, and then, like, yeah. Beal twisted his ankle and is injured again. So, it's just, yeah, oh my god, dude. It kind of sucks that their big tree can never be fully realized. I need to check out, like a Suns podcast to see how they feel about that, because it must be frustrating, right? It's like the team that was promised was Beal, Booker, and KD, and it's like, you know that offense is probably going to be freaking lethal, but it's like, it never gets to be fully realized, right? You know? I don't know, man. Yeah, it must be I'm interested to see, like, is there still belief that they can win the championship if they can't, like, consistently be healthy? You know, it's just another one of those teams where it's like, don't judge them through the regular season. You judge them in the playoffs. But it's like, I don't know, man. There's value in, like, teams proving themselves in the friggin' regular season, though. But, like, with other times with, like, the Denver Nuggets, it's like the Denver Nuggets, like, last season, you know, up until they made, like, the Western Conference Finals, where people were just like, I don't know, they're winning a lot of games, but their defense, how are you gonna freaking do with Jokic as not a rim protecting center? You know, it's like, okay, all right, all right, Mr. Nick Wrong, it's like, it's fine. Oh man, save me from freaking watching First Things First, man. I don't know why I'm watching that show, man. I know why, because, you know, I have nothing else. I have a void, you know. Like, what am I gonna do? What would I rather watch? Would I rather watch a video essay that's about plagiarism and taking down, like, this frickin' James Somerton guy? Or would I rather watch First Things First and watch, like, hey, Brock Purdy or something? It's like, come on, like, it's no freaking question, man. I don't know. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry that I'm not into video essays. I'm sorry I'm not into freaking H Bomber guy when he talks about anything other than Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Or when he's like doing a live stream of, like, Donkey Kong where he, you know, he's raising money for trans rights organizations. It's like, look, man, I have better things to do in my life. I'm sorry. But yeah. I guess if I want to freaking touch on that situation, I thought that would be like a focal point of what I would talk about, but yeah, I don't know. I think it probably would have been another thing of like, I don't watch video essays, I don't know. Like the thing maybe I could have talked about was like Todd in the Shadows of all people, the freaking like Todd in the Shadows who reviews freaking pop music. Just like putting out a video being like, here are all of the freaking lies James Somerton has freaking put out in his videos, and like I along with the rest of freaking Nebula, BreadTube, or freaking whatever, man, like want to freaking take him down, man. They're all just like freaking oh god, oh man. It's like, yeah, like, it's like, okay, all right, okay. That was a thing that surprised me. I put out a tweet about it. I put out a tweet about it being like, I didn't know frickin' Todd in the Shadows was the Kobe, the frickin' H-Bomber guy Shaq. Because he frickin' said early on in the video, he, like, is like, I spoke to H-Bomber guy, and I was like, should I put out this video? And then he's like, yeah, no, just put it up after mine, right? And it's like, what, dude? Oh, man. If you don't know what I'm talking about, by the way, well, BreadTube is just, I don't know what it is. It's just a term for freaking leftist YouTubers who make video essays and analysis videos. And like Nebula is like this network that keeps on getting advertised, you know, namely on like Todd in the Shadows videos, where it's the network, I guess, you know, where a lot of those leftist BreadTube video content creators are like on, you know, in addition to YouTube, that like I would assume pays them money, right? I don't know. That's basically, I don't know, very wonky, faulty, freaking shaky explanation of it, but yeah. I was like, I didn't know freaking Todd in the Shadows would be the Kobe to freaking H-Bomber guy Shaq, and one person replied, Todd and Lindsay Ellis dated, and I'm like, yeah, I know that. Look, man, I remember when Lindsay Ellis, you know, I remember when that wasn't the primary name she went by on the internet, okay? Look. Oh, man. Anyways. Is that all I have to say about that? Oh, man, I don't know. How long have I been going, man? I should make it a thing where I don't freaking check the freaking recording. It's just I'm scared that like it won't like record fully, or like the episode gets freaking scrapped or something because I forget to press record or something. I lost like a bit of footage for Persona 4 where I actually defeat the boss, defeat like Yukiko's shadow or whatever, because I forgot that I record onto like a little 120 gigabyte hard drive, and then the setting on OBS was that it would automatically output to that hard drive, but I didn't have the hard drive plugged in because the hard drive was currently on my main mini PC, which was rendering a video, and I didn't know that. It's like, yeah, it's, you know, those are the mistakes I run into when recording. Oh man. Anyways, so what else, man? Should I just head to the Twitter segment? I'm sure there's a lot there. Is there more of like the stuff that like was associated with this freaking Goodreads, whatever it is? Well, namely like the response to it, basically, right? Like namely the response to just a bunch of things. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I could go over like the 62 tweet thread, but it's like, I don't know. There's like the aftermath of it and like what everyone is like saying, right? There were a few people who've like quote tweeted Kate's apology letter being like, okay guys, like she learned her lesson. She's not gonna be traditionally published. Her book is gone, right? Like she basically was successfully canceled, right? It's like, leave her alone now, it's fine, like let her freaking rest, like, you know. But it's like, but there's also other people being like, why are you freaking like being the one to like finger wag or something, like when like the authors of color who were affected are the ones who are like the real victims, you know? It's basically like that thing, right, of like being like the of like when should people give this a rest, you know? And it's like, there are still people taking pot shots at like whatever like like aspects of this situation, right? Like people wanting, yeah, there's a tweet thread that I bookmarked here, you know. Yeah, it's just, yeah, someone like, tread on the Kate situation. Before I get into the jargon of social justice, let me say it to you in a plain way all of you can understand. You are being a dick. She faced every social, professional, and financial consequence she can possibly face in the past week. And like, also, like, on the financial, like, aspect of it, here's another freaking, like, thing. I don't know. I think it's fine if people still want to freaking make comments about it, as long as it's not, like, you know, just too freaking, you know, like, petty, you know, but, like, I feel like people have the right to be petty on this situation, especially if you were, like, affected, especially if you are, like, you know, like, an author, a writer of color who's, like, freaking looking at this situation and being like, it's another case of freaking publishing's bias towards, like, white authors, and, like, how freaking authors of color like continually like have to freaking compete in like such a freaking challenging environment, more so than their white counterparts, and you know, and it's like even harder to freaking be a person of color in the publishing industry, right? With all of this shit happening, it's like, yeah, I get it, right? Oh man, I'm basically like in the Twitter segment now. I don't know. basically there was a tweet saying Kate is a trust fund kid. There you go. There you go. That was the point I wanted to make. Oh man. Any other interesting points I wanted to make? I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at it right now. Oh man. Yeah, here you go. Okay, alright. I'll never ever forget Kate begging publicly for money to pay dental bills and having her fandom. Funny note about that, / writing circles show up for her. A few months later, we found out she's a trust fund kid. There you go. Which should explain nearly everything. Okay. Which was a quote tweet of this person saying, "Trust me when I say Kate never experienced a pressure in her life that wasn't at least overstated as part of her self-victimization complex or outright manufactured to distract from her privilege." There you go. Which was a quote tweet in response to a another like think piece or article being written about this situation, because it was already written about like by NBC and like oh my god, dude. And yeah, the bookseller put out a article apparently with the headline being "The Sad Story of Kate Corain Spotlights the Overwhelming Pressures Authors Face," and it's like, yeah, the overwhelming pressures authors face, right? And it's like, so she was like overwhelmingly pressured to friggin' make fake accounts and like have targeted friggin' review bombs of authors of color. It's like it's the whole thing of like people simplifying, but like I don't think it's simplifying it. I feel like it is. I feel like reading her apology letter, I feel like that's a generally a fair interpretation, that she's like basically, I don't think she definitely doesn't mean it, but it's like the facts are the facts, right? It's like she freaking made up, she tried to cover her tracks and like make up this freaking like Lily freaking character because she knew like how bad it was, how bad she was screwing up, right? She knew how bad freaking like her actions were, so she made up freaking this like friend of hers and like made up a fake Discord conversation. Why did I freaking do that? Yeah, and it's like, you know, that's the thing. It's basically the simplification of like having a mental illness doesn't make you racist, right? And it's like, you know, people like calling her a racist for doing these things, and like, yeah, definitely, yeah, I don't know. I think like that's just a pretty fair interpretation of it. Like, it's pretty fair to say that what she did was racist, right? It was a racist thing to like specifically target authors of color and specifically freaking target their books, like especially Bethany Baptiste's, you know? And like, yeah, it's a whole thing. Yeah, there's another black self-published author in there, RM Virtue is they're called. Yeah, it's like, you know, yeah, Molly X Chang, I guess, like all the authors in that freaking thing, right? And there just keeps on being like more and more freaking like tweets and freaking stuff on this, you know? There's just more and more stuff. Oh man, I guess the other freaking thing associated with it is if you don't know the fandom, that's talked about in that other tweet I previously read. There's this like film franchise. It's called Star Wars. I don't know if you've heard about it. Oh man, basically in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, there's this character called Kylo Ren, and the main character of the frickin' sequel series is Rey, who's a girl. And then there's a popular ship in the fandom where people ship Rey and Kylo Ren, and the ship is called Reylo. And there's a whole fandom, and like apparently this is the origin story for it, and it's like, oh my god, dude, oh my god. Anyways, how about the Pacers and Bucks frickin' ball incident? You know, like Giannis just like running like a frickin' wild gazelle into the frickin' Pacers locker room. I don't know if I can provide video. I would love to find video. I think I want to edit this more, but like, I don't know. There's just too much to find, man. There's just too much to find. He just ran into the Pacers locker room over a freaking game ball, man. I don't know. I think like the consensus opinion is like the Pacers are stupid and dumb for freaking wanting to keep the game ball from Giannis, right? But it's like, yeah, I don't know. The issue was because I'm freaking Mr. Explainer over here, I guess. That's the life I've chosen for myself with these Let's Plays. The issue was that the Pacers and Bucks played a game. Giannis scored 64 points, his career high. The Bucks a franchise high for the Bucks. And then, but on the other side of it, a Pacers player, Oscar Tshiebwe, scored 1 point, his first NBA basket. But not really, because, oh, side story, the Lakers won the in-season tournament. They're gonna hang a banner. Cool. Cool. Throw a parade too while you're at it. The Lakers, yeah, cool. They beat the Pacers for that. And then, like, but Oscar Tshiebwe, a player on the bottom of the roster for the Pacers, scored in the in-season tournament too. He scored 1 point in the in-season tournament, but the funny thing about it is that it doesn't count because the championship game for the in-season tournament doesn't count towards regular season standings, you know? So, like, the basket he scored, the free throw he scored against the Bucks in the recent game was his actual first NBA point. So they wanted to give him the game ball, right? And Giannis scoring 64 points. He wanted the game ball, so like he just freaking ran into the damn Pacers locker room. And it turns out that the game ball he thought he was looking for wasn't even the freaking game ball. The game ball, the ball that the Pacers thought they had wasn't even the freaking game ball because a Bucks security guard got it. It's like, oh man, just so much stuff, man. It was pretty funny. Every NBA season needs at least like one insanely freaking like petty and dumb incident like this, you know? It was before I started following the NBA, but like there was a incident in like what 2018 or 2019 between the Clippers and the Rockets, where like it was the Clippers tried to enter the Rockets locker room. And then, which led to the funniest friggin' like Charles Barkley inside the NBA moment where they were just cracking up. It just like the reporter, was it Rosgold Unwude, just being like, there had to be police presence. There had to be police called to friggin' break up this altercation. And it's like, Chris Paul trying to beat me up. It's like, what's going on? That's the most, yeah, every NBA season needs at least one of those. Last season, obviously, was Laddergate, which I provided video for, right? Where it's like, Giannis was shooting free throws after he lost to the Sixers, and then friggin' there was a ladder in the way, so he just friggin' pushed it. But the way he was acting with this, it's like, he was so friggin' angry. Like, why is he so friggin' intense about it, man? I don't know. I am more on the Pacers side. I'm more on the Pacers side in Game Ball Gate. It's like, come on, man. Like, come on. Look, I get it if you're Giannis. I get you want a game ball, but it's like, like it's not like him scoring 64 is great and special, but it's like we've no like he can score like that like a lot of the times, right? It's like it's not, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like it's not wrong to freaking want the game ball. It like the more freaking egregious thing is being so freaking like angry about it, right? It's like, why are you so freaking pissed off about this thing, man? Like you're just yelling at Tyrese Halliburton. It's like, come on, man. Oh god. Another storyline, by the way, Tyrese Halliburton being like great. Like he put up like he beat the Bucks in the in-season tournament, and he put up like 27 points and 16 assists with 0 turnovers. It's like, yeah, insane. I don't know. I don't know if he's like flashier than Chris Paul, but yeah. Oh god. Okay, back to the freaking book drama. I don't know. Is there any freaking thing? Yeah. Okay. All right. The Raylo fandom part of it. There you go. The reply to the trust fund frickin' kid tweet. A person replied, the same person who rented out like a whole theater for a Raylo showing of The Rise of Skywalker, right? That person was asking for money, just to be clear. And like, here you go. Okay. In light of quote tweet engagement, these are all like I don't know. I'm just reading tweets as I freaking see them. Oh man. Okay. All right. Okay, these are so out of order. Okay, this is a tweet replying to the quote tweet of the bookseller frickin' tweet. It's so much. Oh man. This is a reply to the trust me when I say Kate tweet. Okay. Really don't need this being twisted into a narrative about buckling under pressure when plenty of people experience the same forces or worse, especially marginalized creators, and don't respond maliciously to their peers with intent to harm. In light of quote tweet engagement, Kate never did falconry. She volunteered to help raptor rehab groups at LA Ren fairs. She never offered to pay anything ever. The Raylo just seeing just the term Raylo on the, like the Raylo The Rise of Skywalker LA premiere was organized by @Art of Stardust, not her. And another friggin' and then there's a quote tweet on this. It's a quote of a tweet where there's literal receipts. Oh man. Alright, the Stardust person is tweeted, I rented out the theater for the LA screening. I booked the after party spot. I covered the upfront cost for all of it. I also covered the open bar in the theater for everyone myself. And then there's a quote tweet. For proof, here's the receipt for the open bar. I covered, yeah, there you go. And like, if you look at the receipt, it's just like a mile long. Well, obviously there's just so many people there. And it totaled to $1,004.20. That's before tax. So, it's $1,099.53. I would, dude. Imagine if I got saddled with that. I can't, man. I can't. Oh my god. Oh man. I can cover like 900 something of that with my current like savings, but yeah. Oh man. Anyways. Yeah, did I cover like basically all interesting aspects of this? I don't know. I think Jiren like has like a TikTok video explaining all of all of it, but I don't know. It's just so much, man. It's so much. Anything else happen? Yeah. Oh man. There's a lot of other stuff, man. Anyways, let me check. Well, before there's a zombie going at. Okay. Wow. It's surprisingly only 51 minutes. Oh my god. That was just so much stuff, man. I'm sorry if like I made like too many freaking unnecessary mouse noises like during that. I don't know. It's just excitement, I guess. It's just the excitement to just let it all out, because I feel like this should be the last time I talk about this. I don't want to talk about freaking this situation again. Oh man. I don't know. You know, I want to, like, I was thinking of making, like, a jokey, like, vague tweet of, like, combining the titles of Crown of Starlight with the ones we burn, right? Like, the Crowns of Starlight we burn, right? It's like, I don't know, man. I mean, that was a different, like, obviously that's a different situation because there was no review bombing associated with it, but it was, like, I don't know. Okay, side tangent. Well, not really side tangent, but it's like I kind of just want freaking I don't know. I know we can't pick and choose the types of things that blow up, or the types of freaking we can't pick and choose whether freaking like white authors decide to randomly uh do racially motivated freaking review bombings of books, but it's like I don't know, man. Why can't we just have a frickin' like controversy where the only thing about the controversy behind like the book publishing drama space or whatever? Why can't we have a book drama controversy where it's just a book not being good, you know? Nothing like controversial or problematic about like how it depicts like race or sexuality or like anything like that. Why can't we just simply have like like a drama thing, like a book conversation where the drama is that people are calling a book bad and people are arguing about whether a book is bad or not. I mean, it ends with us. I mean, well, I don't know. Like, but that doesn't meet the criteria because there's like, you know, like conversations about, you know, domestic violence and like abusive relationships in it, right? It's like, yeah, like just simply like this book sucks, you know, and there's no like problematic aspect to it, right? It's like a book starts a conversation because the thing about it, the main feature about it is that it's not well written. It just sucks, you know? I don't know. I don't know what books can provide those things. I don't know, man. But it's just, yeah, that's just a thing I thought about. That's just a thing I thought about. I'm just like, well, why can't we have one of those things? Oh, man. Yeah. Should I explain the ones we burn thing again? Yeah, look, yeah, the ones we burned had like problematic aspects, you know, like yeah, I showed the tweets where it was like, yeah, it got criticized by someone for being a reverse racism frickin' allegory and stuff, right? Where it's like the black frickin' people were the villains, right? And that was like a problematic thing, obviously. We're like made to be the freaking villains of the story, so it's like oppressing white people, right? And it's like, yeah, and that was the problematic aspect to it. And then the author behind it like had like a Twitter somewhat like letter explaining it's like, no, but I did have like a black sensitivity reader read through this, a black queer sensitivity reader read through this, and they thought it was okay, right? But like it didn't stop it from being controversial. And now, like, I don't know where that author is right now. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's not a situation where the book didn't get to come out, right? Another side tangent is that like a lot of people like a couple articles explaining this incident called the Crown called it a YA book drama thing, right? Like they called Kate Crane a YA author, even though Crown of Starlight is listed as an adult book, right? It's like, yeah, like YA being a synonym for female, therefore being a synonym for bad, right? Like basically that property. It's like, yeah. Oh man, it's hard, man. It's hard to just like be someone. Is it hard? It's not. Yeah, no, it's easy. You know it's easy to do for me. It's easy to just read books that just don't often inspire this discourse. Like I've expressed a sentiment like a few times before, but like it's interesting. While like last year, where everyone was like talking about like Light Lark, I'm just reading. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Or I'm reading. I'm reading Me, Earl and the Dying Girl. Or I'm reading Yes, No, Maybe So. I'm reading. I'm reading Love, Hate, and Other Filters. It's like, I read the books that don't get discourse about, okay? Oh, man. It's like, you know, I don't know, man. Oh, man. I am still currently reading These Violent Delights. I don't know if, like, there's been, like a book Twitter-wide spanning discourse about it. There probably was, like, in 2020, but yeah. I mean, the series is, yeah, like, it's a popular series, but it's like, I don't know if there's like much, inspired discourse about it. It's like, I'm listening to the audiobook. Yeah, Love Boat Taipei. It's like and like a film adaptation of that came out, which I want to see. It's from the producers of Exo Kitty, which I haven't seen still. And it's like, come on, it's like there's just, I don't know. I should be grateful. Yeah, I should be grateful that like my taste is currently in frickin' the books that aren't discoursable, that aren't hot frickin' trending ass topics for YA book publishing, adult publishing book Twitter. You're right. I don't know, man. I don't know. Is that a thing I want in 2024? If I'm predicting 2024, there's probably just gonna be like more book drama related to freaking Goodreads, right? Like that's also another thing of it. People just talking about like, the negative aspect of Goodreads, right? It's like you shouldn't freaking take Goodreads into account, like as an author, right? Like you shouldn't be so freaking hung up on Goodreads reviews and ratings, right? It's the whole thing, right? Yeah, there is a larger discussion of being like debuting as an author can be so much pressure and anxiety, but it's like obviously like this isn't the time to like basically make that the whole point, when the most important point of this situation was that an author basically was being racist. It's like, yeah. I get that. Anyways, who do I think is gonna win the championship this year? I don't know, man. Could it be Philly, man? I don't know. Could Embiid actually follow the model where Giannis followed it? He won back-to-back MVPs, and then next year won a title, and then Jokic won back-to-back MVPs, and then next year, won a title, right? Could Embiid follow in those footsteps, especially with Tyrese Maxey being an all-star player next to him? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they probably need to make a trade first, right? Yeah, true. There's been talks about on Sixers Twitter of like trading for Mikal Bridges, and it's like, damn, dude, that actually works for them, right? That would really work out for them, but I don't know. Oh man, hopefully D'Angelo Russell gets traded from the Lakers, man. That's my personal player I want to see get traded the most, because he freaking was like talking freaking trash to Bruce Brown, like in leaked audio. It's like, you don't have, and then in comments after the in-season tournament, it's like, you don't have freaking Jokic on your team anymore. It's like, okay, all right, D'Lo, all right. You get traded to a freaking team with LeBron and AD, and you think you're freaking hot freaking SH now, huh? Okay, all right, my guy. Okay, man. Okay, you can get traded. You can get traded to a losing team. I freaking want that for you so bad. I'm sorry. See, like I'm being petty towards NBA players. A lot of people on book Twitter are still being petty towards Kate Corain. Yeah. Okay, I'm still looking at this freaking receipt. Lots of freaking drinks. Let me name these drinks: Bounty MFD, St. Francis Chardonnay, Modern Times Blazing, Double Cocktail Hendrick, Hendrick's Gin, Cocktail Gin Ultra. I don't know the majority of these. I don't know. Well, I know what Chardonnay is, obviously. I don't know, man. Does anyone feel like a little bit weird when they like say the names of drinks? I don't know. I think I guess if I'm being fully honest here, I've ordered a drink. I've ordered an alcoholic beverage from a bar at a concert at least at a grand total of once in my life. Yeah. It was like a cider thing. Yeah. Corazon margarita. Ooh, wow. Modelo 24 ounces. Blue Hope. Oh, is that like a Star Wars team drink? Rocks Gin. Heineken. Someone wanted a Heineken. A lot of cocktails. Shock Top bottle. I'm just naming the drinks. I don't know, man. Look, man. I want another angle to this freaking incident, okay? Anyways. Here's okay. Let me go to bookmarks. Here we go. This is from the tread on the Kate situation thing, where it was like basically being like of the opinion, yeah, where they're basically of the opinion of like lay off, it's fine, like you guys don't need to be unnecessarily freaking petty and dogpile and freaking continue to piss on this person's grave when every freaking consequence that you wanted to happen happened. Okay, there you go. Here are the replies to that tweet thread. Here's more of the tweet thread. There's no more blood you can get from this stone. She's effectively cancelled. What more do you want from her? An apology? No, you don't. Even as lacking as the apology was, there was no universe in which Kate could have said anything that would satisfy. Yeah, and that's like really true. Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. It's like, they're like, I don't know. I like people, yeah, there's a lot of people judging the apology, you know, right? And like there was one quote tweet where it said that like people are interpreting this to say that like Kate is saying that her mental illness made her racist. I feel like that's somewhat of a stretch, but it's like, you know, that's kind of taking out of the situation like with the facts of what happened, right? Like, you know, in my opinion, but yeah. I agree with like this like tweet tread sentiment. Y'all are supposedly supporting the marginalized people affected with this behavior, digging up old tweets to belittle. Yeah, and a few people were doing that, of like making like jokey like quote tweeting like her previous like tweets, right, where she was like you know, like expressing like anxieties and being like, oh yeah, sucks for her, and like doing like a little freaking dunk thing. But that's just general Twitter culture, man. Oh man, yeah, digging up old tweets, outright mocking the statement that was made. This is how you're showing support. This is how you're showing support? This is punitive. This is cruel. You say you don't care about a racist's feelings. Fine, whatever. I don't care either. I care about my principles. Caring about marginalized people means supporting and practicing restorative justice, focusing on supporting the victims, not punishing the perpetrator. Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole thing, right? And then, yeah, there was a quote tweet I saw of this thread being like, well, what are you doing to support the victims? Or something. It's just such a situation, man. Such a web, you know? Yeah. Ending? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Before anyone gets on me for, I don't know, kissing Kate's ass, I'm not. I simply have principles on how I wish to treat people. The problem is that a lot of that you can't have a guarantee that everyone's gonna share those same principles. That's what I thought when reading this. The excessiveness of cruelty is never something I'll value. Again, at this point, y'all are not seeking justice. Just clicks on your quippy retweet. Yep. There you go. That was basically the point of it. Is that freaking done? Is that done? Have I freaking gone through just like every freaking thing I could have with this, man? Oh man, just so much, man, so much. Oh man, yeah, just so freaking much. Oh hey, Taylor Swift was named Time Person of the Year. Yeah. Anyways, in a pivot, yeah. Okay, in a pivot, yeah. I guess I'm just doing the Twitter segment right now. I'm just not freaking pausing. There's not gonna be a freaking edited Twitter segment this episode, is it? Well, okay, whatever. I guess people are just gonna have to deal with just me freaking being awkward in these transitions. Okay. Taylor Swift talks about the intersection of patriarchy, money, and art. What has existed since the dawn of time? A patriarchal society. What fuels a patriarchal society? Money. Flow of revenue. The economy. So actually, if we're going to look at this in the most cynical way possible, feminine ideas becoming lucrative means that more female art will get made. It's extremely heartening. And like people just like clowning Taylor for just having such a freaking like basic like white liberal just feminist 101 view of freaking the world, right? It's like Taylor Swift's feminism is like related only specifically to her and no one else, right? It's like there's no like analysis of like larger systems at play. It's just purely it's a very selfish thing, right? Oh man, dude. There you go. There's so much. Yeah, okay. I'm just going through my bookmarks here. Oh yeah, here's like the Google Drive document. That's another part of it. There were 31 pages of review bomb receipts for this freaking thing. And it's, yeah, true. Yeah, I guess I can't like look at it now. Is there any point in freaking like looking at it? I could look at it if I go on my computer, but yeah, I don't know. There was another quote from Taylor Swift where she called, where she called Reputation like a goth punk like album, right? That's like angry, like that's screaming at the social structure or something. I don't know. Just people just clowning the various quotes Taylor Swift has made. And I'm like, okay, all right, it's fine, man. She's allowed to be a corny freaking white woman, okay? It's fine. You know, she's allowed to friggin' not speak on the genocide going on in Palestine. Uh, but, obviously people should criticize her for freaking being silent on it, obviously. Oh, man. It's like, come on, man. It's honestly a thing of, like, what do people expect from her specifically, right? It's like, I don't know. People want their celebrities to, like, be these, like, perfect freaking role models, but it's like, I think it's more of a thing that like it's just that I think the best you can hope for is that they aren't like outright freaking terrible, that like they're mostly decent people, right? Yeah, like that's the thing. Like you can never have like a 100% like they are, like they're a perfect embodiment of like my core principles, and like, a current, you can, I don't know. I feel like it's a bit naive to think that of celebrities, like Beyonce has gotten some like criticism for showing her the Renaissance tour film in Israel, right? And then like there was a tweet that went around where the IDF is using "Break My Soul" as like a song, as like their anthem, right? It's like, okay, yeah, maybe if her film wasn't shown in Israel, right, like that could have been avoided, right? It's like, yeah, that's a whole thing, right? Oh man, but what could, it's a thing. Like expecting artists to be like the perfect, like moral, like idols, on that are 100% like checking like your like the like issues, like they care about all of these. They're the perfectly like progressive like people who like say the right things on every issue, have the exact right opinions that I would have on every issue, I don't know. It's like I think, I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of cynical like that. It's like you shouldn't, like no one should ever expect like celebrities to be like that. It doesn't mean you can't criticize them to be better, right? Like everyone should criticize celebrities and like people in power to be better. But it's like, I guess I'm just of the perspective of like, I'm just like, I guess with celebrities in particular, right? With politicians, it's a different thing. You should absolutely like pressure them and freaking like, call them and annoy them and harass them and bully them if they're not freaking doing the things you want, especially if you voted for them, right? Like that's your duty as a constituent, right? To your local representatives at least, right? And your national representatives to like be annoying if like freaking, at least in an effort of like showing like I care about this freaking issue. Why aren't you doing anything about it? You have a literal vote in freaking Congress. Why can't you freaking do anything? Why are you just asking freaking us for money when you're literally sitting on your ass freaking not doing shit? It's like, yeah, I understand that, but with celebrities, I think I'm just more of the opinion of just like you criticize them, but like, I don't know. I don't have any real expectations of like, oh, maybe they'll freaking like be more progressive and be better about this issue. I don't know. I just have less of an expectation for that, Anyways, oh god. Should I like even transition to the Twitter segment now? I don't know. There were like, oh man, in terms of like a thing that I wanted to talk about. Okay, a non-serious thing that I wanted to talk about. There was a tweet that went around that was basically saying like, that it was basically about the topic of like, should you keep your shoes on in your house, in someone else's house at a party, or take your shoes off, right? And then there was someone who had a tweet that was vehemently on the side of like, no, I want to keep my shoes on. It's like, why are we pretending that why are we like having this gesture of taking our shoes off in like in this pretense of that the floor is freaking clean or something, you know. And it's like, yeah, and then got people arguing, right, where it's like, you know, a lot of people are of the opinion that you should take your shoes off in the house. A lot of people are of the opinion, there's some people, probably the lesser amount of people who are of the opinion that like you know, it's fine to freaking keep your shoes on in the house. And I'm like, why hasn't the discussion shifted to like what material the floor is, you know? It's like, isn't that like an important part of the discussion, right? Because it's like, I don't know. Look, for me personally, I come from an Asian household, okay? Usually, like, I think, yeah, obviously in Japanese culture and Korean culture, yeah, I would assume, right? It's like you leave your shoes at the front door, right? And then you freaking wear, like, socks or, like, or it's like slippers around the house, right? You don't, you know, bring your outside shoes freaking to the freaking floor, inside your house, right? But it's like, I don't know. For me, personally, even though I come from an Asian household, if I own a home or an apartment, right, and people want to come in, right, if the material is wood and linoleum tiles, if the material is wood and tiles, I don't care, man. I do not care. The only freaking exception I would have if people leave their shoes on is that, like, if the shoes are visibly, like, muddy, if they visibly have, like, freaking, like, brown freaking dirt on, like, the bottom and the soles of the shoes, right? I would kind of be annoyed. I'd be like, man, I have to clean that up. Like, I have to actually, like, clean up all of the freaking, you know? But it's like, yeah, like, if the shoes are muddy, obviously, I would hope that person has the sense to take them off, right? And, like, not have that, or like, at least freaking wipe it on the freaking mat coming in, right? But it's like, look, man, I'm okay. Like, I'm okay with people putting their shoes on and leaving their shoes on if the floor material was wood, you know, it's fine. Like, if people just, if you can wear freaking, like, sneakers, you can wear freaking, like, a little bit worn sneakers in freaking, like, my potential freaking apartment or home, right? Like, you can wear them and walk around, it's fine. If the freaking home is like wood and tile, right? It's like, it's fine. Or any other like solid material. But if it's carpet, which, you know, is a bit fuzzy, I would assume you would want to wear socks when you're like traversing on carpet, right? I don't know. Or you like, I don't know how to feel about flip-flops though. I don't know, man. You know, me personally, like, I'm of the like perspective that I'd rather not see people walking barefoot if I own a home. You know, it's just a weird thing I have, but like, I don't know, man. I guess people can, but like, yeah, on carpet, yeah, you should be wearing socks. Or, you know, if you don't have socks on, I guess you can frickin' walk around frickin' barefoot. Okay, I guess you can, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know why that hasn't been a part of the discussion, right? Yeah, but it's also, I guess it's also another part of it where it's like, if you're entering specifically into a home where like that's like ingrained into the culture, right? Like an Asian household, for instance, right? And you refuse to take off your shoes. Like, I don't know. I guess the host family can be nice enough and be like, okay, you can leave your shoes on, I guess. Freaking dirty ass person. But, you know, I would assume, like, you know, there's the general sense of like wanting to be polite, you know. I don't know. As I've talked about with cultural differences with like Swedish families and like not letting freaking guests eat, right? I don't know. You just got to be aware of like the cultural differences, man. You just got to be aware. Oh man. Anyways, is that basically like all I wanted to talk about? I basically covered like the entire situation. Do I have anything else to say about freaking plagiarism? I've never plagiarized, man. I've never plagiarized. I don't know. This James Somerton guy. Yeah, H Bomber guy made that whole video, and like, I guess like the larger point I guess I would have made on it if I cared about it more was like, damn, like H Bomber guy and like the whole like breadtube community, like how freaking, yeah, like this like power structure, not power structure, but like, you know, like this like community of like prominent leftist video essayists are just like a very close-knit contingent and like bond with each other, I guess. I don't know if like Quentin Reviews is in that, but like, I don't know. It's just like people who make like lengthy leftist, obviously they're all like leftist and progressive, like making like video essays, you know. There's like other people in it. There's like other people like adjacent to it. Yeah, there's this black YouTuber called FD Signifier who like I've seen like a couple of their videos, their shorter videos. But I don't know. I feel like they're one of the ones where it's like if I were to watch that type of content, I probably would watch his videos primarily over all of the other ones, right? It's just like his stuff is just more interesting, I feel like. But yeah, I don't know. I guess the larger point I would have made is just like I'm not that interested in freaking quote video essay tube, right? And like so many people want to do freaking video essays, man. I can't do it, man. I can't, right? I'm somewhat sick and tired of freaking people doing analysis, man. I can't like I don't know. Why can't people just write actual essays? Why do you need video accompaniments? I understand you want to be a quote content creator. I understand that. I guess like I'm just like I don't know. I'm just speaking to a wall basically. Obviously, as I do with all these let's plays, right? It's like, oh man, people obviously love freaking these type of video essays, especially if they're about like freaking obscure. Like if they're about like, oh, my favorite video game. Here's a 6-hour analysis of like a video game or a TV show. You know, it's like I'm just not into it, man. I can't get into it. I can't. I don't know. I feel like if I was like 15 and you know, like I mean this like yeah, I don't think the video essay scene was as prominent in like 2016 17. It was just getting started. I don't know. Like people like ContraPoints and Philosophy Tube, like I don't think they really hit their stride with video essays until like 2019. I feel like 2018 2019 was basically when, you know, a lot of those people became like household names in terms of YouTube, you know. But like I don't know, Bomber guy like a little bit before that, but like I don't know. Yeah, like Quentin Review is probably like 2018 2019, you know. It's like I don't know, man. I'm just in another phase of my life, man. I kind of would rather just watch Nick Wright try to explain why the Chiefs are still Super Bowl contenders even after they lost like 2 games in a row, rather than just freaking like watching a whole freaking expose on some guy. It's like, man, I wish I wish I was that person? I kind of don't, man. I kind of don't, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm in too deep with this freaking watching. I watch PTI regularly now. It's like it's insane. I go to those freaking like channels that just upload them freaking. I can't. It's the post Undisputed Void, man. It's that void it left, you know. It's difficult, man. I don't know. I'm watching like was it Gilbert Arenas' freaking podcast show about the NBA, the real hoopers freaking where real hoopers freaking talk, you know, and like they say a lot of freaking dumb things, right? Like was it one guy on there? Was it Rashad McCants? I don't know how long he was an NBA player for. Probably not that long, you know? He talks more about playing freaking overseas than in the NBA, so yeah. Like, he said, like, that, like, Kyrie is the best player on the Mavs, not Luka, and it's like, come on, man. Come on. Like, what? Stop. What is up with this freaking real hooper phenomenon of just the real hoopers know? It's like, I played basketball before. My opinion holds more weight. Real hoopers know freaking Kyrie is better than freaking Luka's. Like, what are we talking about? What is this? I feel like that's like there's basically the mindset that's being fostered with Gilbert Arenas' show, right? Like Gilbert Arenas is I'm calling it like colloquially the real hooper mindset of just like, you know, like the people who believe that like Jamal Crawford and Lou Williams, you know, like people who won like 6th Man of the Year like multiple times a year, right? Like should be in the Hall of Fame over freaking someone like Manu Ginobili who was like a multiple time champion with the Spurs, but like only a 6th man and like his individual stats weren't freaking that special. That's like a feature of the real hooper freaking mindset of just like you value like individual stats like way more than team success. like it's like the real Hooper players like Rashad McCants or freaking Gilbert Arenas are just like, think of freaking basketball in terms of like, okay, but if they were playing one-on-one, like you would cook this guy, right? It's like if they're playing on the freaking concrete on the blacktop, Kyrie would freaking cook. Like the majority of NBA players, like Kyrie would freaking cook Steph freaking if we were playing like ones and twos on the blacktop. It's like, okay. Real Hoopers know. Real Hoopers know Jamal Crawford should be in the Hall of Fame. Oh man, it's like, I don't know. And like, I don't know, like I don't know. I just find it entertaining, you know. I'm probably not more I'm probably not of the real Hooper mindset with like my basketball opinions, but I appreciate the perspective, you know. Yeah. It's all the, yeah, like you learn about like theories, you know, you learn about, yeah. One of the classes I took this semester was about sociological theory, so I had to learn about a bunch of theorists, you know. Yeah, one of the theorists I learned about was Judith Butler, and like she has like very interesting ideas that like fall under queer theory, namely that like sex, biological sex in addition to gender, is like socially constructed. And, like, yeah, like you learn about like, yeah, it's like the real Hooper theoretical perspective and the tenets of it. It's like, look, the number one is like which players can like cook you one-on-one. Like if we're talking real frickin' basketball here. Just like I guess I'm just like doing a caricature of their frickin' thoughts, right? But it's like real Hoopers frickin' know, man. Like I'm not taking a guy who just frickin' put up 5.7 points a game and was you know, benefited by their team. I'm taking the guy who put up 30 frickin' 7 points a game. Like, yeah, they value individual players like, you know, Allen Iverson, like over frickin', yeah, someone like Manu Ginobili, right? It's like, yeah, that's basically it. Real Hoopers know. Oh man. Anyways, is there anything else I need to talk about? I talked about shoes. Yeah, I guess let me do like a quick like skim of frickin' tweets, man. I don't know. I'm just going to my phone. Anything? Kanye and Ye beefing was not how we saw 2023 ending. Okay. A relationship is all about sending each other Instagram posts of local bars and restaurants and saying, let's go here, and never going there. Honestly, this John Fetterman thing is kind of on us for assuming progressive politicians exist. Yeah. That's another thing in regards to the genocide in Palestine, the Palestinian genocide situation, the genocide of Palestinians situation, you know, that Israel is freaking doing, right? It's like, that like, you know, Bernie Sanders, who's been known to be very outspoken on the issue of like Israel and Palestine and like Israel's freaking mistreatment, you know, of Palestine, right? It's like, you know, like we've expected, like he like only, I don't know, has he even like made a statement calling, yeah, he did make a statement calling for a ceasefire, but yeah, like it's just, you know, he took so long to do it, right? And it's like a lot of progressive leftist people on Twitter are like, he ruined his reputation. Oh man, maybe it's burnout, maybe it's seasonal affective disorder, or maybe it's day 70 of watching a genocide. Oh man, so many comedians are doing Netflix is a joke next year. I don't know how anyone in LA is gonna get an Uber. Oh man. Oh man. I am 32 years old and still use my parents' landline phone number at my local grocery store to get the members' rewards. Oh man. Oh yeah, there's another tweet where someone just posted like there's another tweet that basically the point of it was teenagers nowadays don't want to get their driver's license. They're not too interested in wanting to get their driver's license and, you know, drive a car now. You know, as someone who doesn't have their driver's license and doesn't drive a car, like, I guess I find it slightly interesting, you know? Because, like, the graduating class, like, my high school, you know, the people, like, I was classmates with, they were, like, really excited of, like, to drive and get cars and stuff like that and get their license, you know? I remember yeah, sophomore year starting, starting in like sophomore junior year, like so many people talking about the driving test and stuff like that. And I guess like nowadays it's starting to be less of a thing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's a whole thing. Yeah. I talked last episode about the decline of turd spaces, you know? Yeah, which basically that was what I was talking about basically, like the when I was saying like where are the places for teens to hang out nowadays that aren't like their parent you know, with their parents or isn't at school or work, right? And it's like, yeah, I answered like libraries could be a place, right? Like the mall, yeah, malls have curfews nowadays. Like I would assume like a lot of places have like no loitering policies, right? Yeah, it kind of like ties into that, like the whole like teens, like yeah, like kids nowadays growing up are like being watched by their parents more and more. They're getting tracked on their phones, right? And it's like, yeah, it could be like related to that. It's like, like teens not wanting to freaking, go out as much or freaking drive. I don't know. I guess it's an interesting thing. Like this is like, I'm early Gen Z. Okay, that's a mid to late Gen Z thing. I don't know. And the whole thing with Gen Alpha is that that there have been multiple tweets discussing the phenomenon of Gen Alpha like not being able to read. And like, yeah, I think like if you hear that, I don't know. I think like if you're like me, you hear that and you're like, what do you mean not being able to read? Don't you learn how to read? Like, don't you start learning how to read early on in elementary school? Like I don't necessarily remember learning how to read, but like I think like starting in like first, second, third grade, I could read sentences. Like, I don't know the actual, yeah, I guess that could be a thing I could talk about in future episodes because this one is so big, right? Of like, what is the exact meaning of like what that means, right? Like, what does that actually mean in context, right? Like, does it mean that kids in elementary school don't want to read books? Or is it that they struggle reading sentences? Or is it that in general, reading comprehension is lower, or is it just like, yeah, is it disinterest, like, or is it all of the above, There's just a lot of like issues I wanted to get through this episode, and I don't think this is gonna be the last episode. I think I'm gonna have like at least one more. I'm probably gonna have like one more part of this go up. So yeah, this has been like a lot. I've taken no breaks, man. I'm not entirely gassed, but still. I've taken no breaks anyways. Oh, man. Any freaking other freaking last minute things I want to like freaking, yeah. Having parents who cared enough to restrict your internet access as a kid could have saved some of you. Okay, alright. And we wouldn't be on Twitter, man. Come on. Oh, man. When I was hooking up with someone over the summer, and then he told me that he really hates Ian Cohen, so I ghosted. I'm finally fine. This is what I've been looking for, man. The one time I'm just like, hey, I want freaking these kinds of tweets to talk about, right? It's like, oh, it just also happens to be the time that, like, the biggest book drama of the year freaking drops. Oh, great. Anyways. Oh, it's been an hour and 30 minutes. I've been gone on so long. I don't know if this is going to be edited that much. Yeah, I guess I'm not going to edit like a specific Twitter segment. So yeah, I guess this has been this episode. Yeah, a bit weird because I don't have like a separated Twitter segment. So anyways, that's it. I've gone on for way too freaking long. Hopefully I did the Kate situation justice. In my late, like freaking me talking about it. And yeah, hopefully Draymond, as Yusuf Nurkic said, that brother needs help, and I hope Draymond gets the help he needs. So yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. I will be back before the end of the year. At least, yeah, I'm gonna, I think, have one more part where I maybe like do a recap. I don't know, somewhat. I'll upload some more other videos too. So anyways, thank you so much for watching and see you next time.